What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today, the markets are set to open lower once again. The S&P has been selling off, really sold off into the close yesterday. The Qs, same thing, selling off throughout the day. Apple barely hanging on by a thread right here at $167 per share. Tesla is in free fall. And so, what does that mean for the markets, stocks, bonds, commodities, and crypto? Well, I'm going to get into that now. But if that sounds good to you, be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. And let's get started. All right, so what is going on here in the markets? Well, we have the fear and greed index falling into fear for the first week in a long time. Um, just a couple of weeks ago, we were well into the greed, and so people are starting to worry about what may happen next. Um, and it's really easy to see, really, with this market run up, we've had a long market run up, and with things like, you know, all these stocks rallying hundreds of percent, well, mainly the Mag 7 and some crypto, uh, as well as meme coins, that the markets were simply overexcited. So, are we going to see something like this where we uh, start selling off and get a bounce and then crash? Or are we going to go higher later this year? Well, I'm going to get into that. So let's start off on the S&P. As I mentioned, we came down yesterday. We are really in our first level here that we were looking at right around that 500 on the SPY or 5,000 on the S&P. And so what could we see here? Well, it looks like we may see a bounce, and if that happens, then we may see further selling. Um, but really, for us to remain bearish on this, we have to remain below this level right here, pretty much right around that 515 mark on the SPY. Right now, the RSI is dropping off on the daily. Um, on the weekly, though, let's take a look at that. We are still in uh, just coming off these highs here on the RSI. So we may have a bit lower to go. And really, what I believe we are looking at here is a correction. And a correction is normally defined as about 10% pullback. Um, Really, I could see anything from like a 5 to 10% pullback. I had a feeling this was coming for a while. Um, a lot of traders will tell you to look at the technicals, which I do think are important. Some people say the fundamentals, and a lot of times they say don't trust your gut. But, I really kind of thought this was what was going to happen. It just felt like it. It felt like what happened the last couple times that I've made very good calls in the market. Um, And what this felt like to me kind of was what we saw back in 2019. Before COVID, I had no idea that COVID was coming, obviously, but nevertheless, I ended up selling a lot of stocks and moving into cash. And then once COVID happened, I was able to buy up that dip and uh, do really well with that, making about a 3x return on some of those trades. Um, the first time I ever bought a stock was right after the great financial crisis, and after we bottomed out in 2009, I bought, I believe it was around June, and that was when I really first started getting into buying and trading stocks. I had some losses, I had a lot of wins. I did really well overall back then, and yeah, now just making that more of a priority in my life, kind of watching these things. So anyway, where are we going for the S&P? It looks like we may want to go down and possibly go down around this 470 to 480 level. That would put us at about 10% down. Um, what does that mean for the rest of the markets? Well, we need to watch the yields. The US 10-year is sitting at 4.6% right now, peaked right around 4.7, and so we need to see what happens. Are we going to be higher for longer? There's possibility of uh, discussion of possible another rate hike. I don't think that's likely. I think probably the underlying conditions of what is going on in the economy are going to start showing up, and eventually uh, the Fed will have to start cutting rates probably later this year. Um, but we'll have to wait and see right now um, what all happens. I think what we're going to probably see more likely on the S&P is uh, a short-term to mid-term sell-off. As you can see here on the RSI, we were still quite overheated on the weekly. It looks like this may want to come down for the next couple of months, possibly uh, to cool off for a little while before moving higher into the end of the year. At least that's kind of what my thought process is right now. And what does that mean for things such as the other commodities and bonds and crypto? Well, the dollar remains strong anytime in fear. A lot of people move to the dollar, sitting at just below 106 right now. And yeah, the dollar has been strong, has been really strong. I wish I would have sold a couple more positions, but you know, that's just the way things go. Um, but yeah, it looks like the dollar is going to maybe retain some strength here for a little while. If we get past that 107 area, well, then we could be going uh, a good bit higher for the dollar, and we may be going up to really that next level of resistance would be around the 108.50. So the dollar could continue to move up, of course, as yields and the dollar goes up. That's not good for the stock market, but that may be a possibility. What else doing well? Well, commodities are doing well. Gold has been doing really well. However, it does look like we've got a couple pin bar rejections on gold right now. It was up over 24,000 or $2,400 an ounce this morning. The RSI is a little overheated, so maybe we get a bit of pullback in gold before moving higher. I still think that gold and commodities are going to go higher. Gold, particularly, up to around 2,500 or possibly $3,000 uh, within the next couple years. Surprisingly, Bitcoin is remaining strong, setting at just below $65,000. Um, so we are getting a little bounce here on Bitcoin. I kind of suspect that we may go up and retest the middle of this chart, and then maybe we see a bit of weakness. But really, we're just ranging sideways here. So for Bitcoin and crypto, well, we are entering a market sentiment where it is more risk off. However, uh, Bitcoin is showing its resilience uh, and acting similar to gold here, where it is maintaining strength during uh, this time of uncertainty. I think more and more people are realizing the value of this asset and what it offers to offset inflation because eventually we know that the government is going to uh, move back towards a more um, quantitative easing whether that's cutting rates or injecting liquidity into the system, because eventually they will have to, whether that means the economy is getting weaker or they're doing other things such as funding other programs. I did see the other day that they sent or they passed a bill for excuse me 20 I think it's $26 billion for aid for what's going on with the geopolitical things in the Middle East. So anytime they are spending money like that, uh, yeah, that's just liquidity, more liquidity going into the system. And, you know, the way they have been, they are just not going to stop uh, spending money. And really, eventually, they have to pay off the debt that they are running up right now. The payment is at over $1 trillion on interest just on the debt, which is crazy. But that's good for things like assets that grow, such as crypto, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. Ethereum is remaining strong, came down and got this gap fill right around $3,000 here. Um, and Ethereum is putting in a bullish hammer today. So that is looking good for Ethereum. If we do see further sell-offs in the market, I do expect Ethereum will probably come down to some of these lower levels, but the RSI is moving down right now. Um, so maybe we see some more strength for Ethereum coming up, and we are coming into the Bitcoin halving, which is now less than a day away. It is happening, it looks like today, according to this, on April 19th. There's a little bit of debate exactly when this was going to be, but it does look like we are going to get to halving today. Um, so that will be bullish long term for crypto, um, as the supply is cut in half. So I still think that Bitcoin is one of the hardest money assets out there, given this supply and demand. What else could do well? Well, I could see things like bonds doing really well. Um, I think a lot of people, when they look for safety, when you go to cash, well, you might get something like a bond that offers like 5% uh, dividend on your cash, and things like TLT could do well. We've got a little gap down and gap up for TLT. And I think I'm really starting to like this level. I'm going to watch this here a little bit closer. I've already got a small position in TLT. Excuse me, guys. And really, the RSI is coming down here. It looks like it's starting to flatten out and reset. So I could see things like TLT doing well, especially if they have to start cutting yields. I think we've probably seen the peak on yields. Obviously, we had it last year, but yeah, I think we have set in another lower high for yields, it looks like. I don't really think that we're going to go much above this level right here. Um, so that is good for TLT. And really, a lot of people are moving into commodities. And another stock that I am looking at is Alcoa, ticker AA. Um, right now, sitting right around $35. You can see this stock has been beaten down, and Alcoa is a producer of aluminum, and a lot of the metals have been doing really well, so that's good for some of these companies. And really, anytime there's fear in these markets, a lot of people, a lot of money moves towards these bigger, older companies um, that have a lot of cash. And excuse me, guys, still trying to get over these allergies here a little bit, but Yeah, a lot of people move into these bigger stocks when there's fear. Those are generally the first kind of stocks that are bought up whenever you do see a correction. I remember back in the Great Financial Crisis, the first stock I think I bought was GM. But yeah, a lot of big companies are the first to recover. Same thing we saw back in 2020, whenever I was buying stocks, whenever everybody was panicking and was a lot of these bigger company stocks were some of the first ones that I bought up back then, and so companies like this tend to do well. And as you can see, Alcoa has been sold off from around $100 down to 35. It looks like we're putting in some sort of double bottom, and we may be forming a bull flag here, uh, maybe possibly a cup and handle, whatever you like to look at if you are into trading. So this is a level I'm interested in looking at. I'm probably going to give this just a little bit more time before making a decision. We do have a series of higher lows, so you could draw a little trend line down here, something like this. And I'm not sure why that's not working, but yeah. So maybe if we pull back to somewhere down around $30, we could see a good entry for Alcoa. Not sure what is going on with my chart there. And then Tesla, I did want to mention this. This is, of course, on the thumbnail of this video. And right now, Tesla has been in free fall. Um, really, it looks like it wants to go down and possibly fill this gap right here around 145. Um, how low could this go? Well, it could go a lot lower, but I think that will be probably a decent level of support for it. Really, you can see the RSI is coming back down again. We had RSI low back here in January after this massive sell-off. So yeah, it's been pretty bad for Tesla for a while. And so this stock to me is starting to get interesting. And if we take a measurement off the peak here last summer, we are down 50%. So that is starting to look pretty good. And really, I've got my box on here for this longer term, uh, anywhere in this area of around 135 to 145, I think is a good buying opportunity because you've got a lot of resistance and support back in this area. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Tesla's really entering a pretty decent buy zone, but really need to see what the overall stock market wants to do first. If you're interested in buying, selling, or trading stocks, commodities, bonds, or crypto, you can do so over here on Prime XBT. They allow you to trade all these different indices as well as crypto futures. I really think that crypto is going to do well later this year. I think that this pullback that we may see here in the short to midterm is going to offer some good opportunities for people that want to get into crypto because the 4 year cycle as we know it with crypto is in effect. A lot of people love it, a lot of people hate it. I get it, but yeah, I think that it will continue to show more strength as this industry continues to pick up pace and the widespread adoption, more and more people learn about it. There's just already so many people working on this that I just don't see it really going away. Um, yeah, So you can do that. You can also copy trade experts if you want to learn more about trading. That's not a bad way to get started. And so if you're interested, there is a link down below. Yes, it is an affiliate link. Uh, so you can use that. Of course, that helps support this channel. And drop a comment below. Let me know any questions you have on the economy, stocks, uh, commodities, or crypto. Let me know your thoughts. And also, don't forget to pick up yourself a VPN. Right now, Nord is offering 66% off plus 3 extra months. Uh, so you can do that with the link down below as well and protect your online identity and your assets. So, yeah, be safe out there, guys. You never know. There is a lot of scams going out around on the internet right now, especially when times get tough. You do see these things start to pick up, so protect yourself on the internet. And yeah, I hope you all have a good Friday. It is Friday. Um, the weekend is almost upon us. So, anyway, guys, go out there and enjoy your weekend. And until next time, guys, take care and be legendary. All right, guys, have a good day.